Now it's a podcast.
Do you know what time it is?
Wait, do you hear that?
What is that sound? Is that the intro? Hello, my name's Zach.
And my name is Nick.
Welcome back to CARELESS Opinion Podcast, dear bud.
Oh, yeah, there, bud.
What are you drinking?
I'm sipping on Dogfish Head 90-minute IPA. What are you sipping on there,
That
bud?
was a lot to read. I'm drinking the Atlanta handcrafted hard cider. It's called Tiki Haze.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. It's a seasonal beer.
Ooh, it's a seasonal.
Yeah. So here it is.
Here it is.
True Crime Part 3. This is the one I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
In the BTK podcast, as well as in the Ted Bundy podcast, I actually said there was a serial killer that I was super like, oh God, get ready to talk about.
Yeah.
We're talking about him, boy.
Okay, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the True Crime Podcast about David Parker Ray, a.k.a. the Toy Box Killer.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Let's go.
It's David Parker Ray. He was born November 6th, 1939. Fun fact, he's a Scorpio. It's very rare. There's not that many serial killers, I think, aside from maybe one other one, that are Scorpios.
Okay.
Fun little fact. He died in jail May 28th, 2002. I know what you're thinking. Zach, you normally know a lot about their childhood. Nope.
No?
No one does. Good luck finding that.
Okay.
Because I can't. I just couldn't. Trust me, I researched for 4 hours today. Couldn't find shit. So here we go. So, like I said, nothing's really known about his early life. We do know that he has 2 kids.
Okay.
You're going to hear about one of them, and only one of them.
Only one.
He has 2 kids. I only know about one of them because that's all they chose to enlighten people about in like the 900 documentaries I've watched about this guy. So, in order to explain all of this, we got to start with his capture, actually.
Okay. The best place to start is at the end.
Yep. So, on March 22nd, 1999, a call was made by a frantic woman to the police. In the call, she stated that a woman had just burst into her house, completely naked, with a dog collar and a 6-foot-long metal chain on.
Oh.
Screaming she had been kidnapped and raped. So the police were called. When the police showed up, the woman who was in question, her name is Cynthia Raheel. Cynthia Raheel was actually in the area where they were in New Mexico, was a well-known prostitute and heroin addict. So originally the police were kind of like, okay. Which is very unfortunate. It is. But they decided to investigate. She said, this is where I came from. I got a search warrant for the house of David Parker Ray. And oh boy, what did they find?
Oh my God.
So they got in. She was being completely truthful. There were signs of a struggle with a broken lamp on the ground. And there was this little bed that was kind of embedded in the ground that had a chain coming off of it, where there was a break on the chain that matched the chain around her neck.
Oh.
As well as in there, the bed was dirty. Clearly, this was not a living condition. They had also found a bucket that she was utilizing for a restroom, and they could obviously tell they were not feeding this woman well because it was very it was bad news bears with the bucket, to say the least. So, upon finding this, they decided we need to arrest this guy, as well as we need to get a full search warrant. Not just like a report, let's go check it out. So he gets arrested the same day, he's taken into questioning. When he's asked about it, he says, oh no, she was consensual. She's lying to you. Now while they're asking David Parker Ray a bunch of questions, what David Parker Ray does not know is they have a full search warrant and they are tearing apart his house and finding some very sadistic stuff.
Oh.
They start by finding just a very weird assortment of sex toys through his house, which they kind of wrote off like, okay, this is abnormal, but some people just have weird taste. Behind his house was this little white trailer that David Parker Ray himself had named the Toy Box. It was also called Satan's Den by David Parker Ray. They got inside of it, and it was a literal torture chamber. David Parker Ray had fashioned an old gynecologist chair to be covered in straps. So many, to the point where they actually, when they were looking up everything, David Parker Ray even drew graphs and pictures of how he could tie people up, like an instruction manual for himself. And he put it on the walls of this place so people who were abducted by him could see what he was going to do to them.
Oh, jeez.
This gets worse. We are in calm mode about this whole situation. This is going to get a hell of a lot worse before it gets any better.
Oh, no.
So, upon finding that, they found some very disturbing sex toys that were homemade sex toys, clearly. I won't go into full detail. I will tell you 2 of them. The rest, if you really want to know, you go ahead and look it up. There's certain things I can and can't say on YouTube. They found homemade dildos. This is the one that I will tell you, and the rest you can leave to imagination. It was fashioned from PCB piping that he had made himself, and he had actually welded a ring around the bottom that was metal and had nails sticking out of it.
Oh, Jesus.
And he had diagrams about how he utilized it to torture women and insert it in them, and when it got to the end, to actually cut into them. Like, he designed it to torture. So, upon all these horrible... I mean, this is a lot that they are finding. They then start finding videotapes. On all the videotapes, it was just videos of him walking around the toy box, not doing anything. Like, he was recording his work in the toy box of how he put it together. And then they found a videotape that had someone on it. And they were in the toy box. And we will get to that momentarily. They also found a recording that was essentially an initiation tape that he would play to his victims. I can't show the recording for legal purposes, but it is on the internet. It is on YouTube, and it is an hour long, and it is disturbing. I listened to the whole thing today to prepare for all this. In the recording, it actually starts with, "Hey there, bitch." He goes into detail about where they are, who he is, and he pretty much tells them, "You are a sex slave. And I'm going to keep you for 4 to 5 days, maybe longer. When I get sick of you, I'll drug you and dump you somewhere, and you'll never remember any of this." Very weird choice of words. Never remember any of this. Well, you're going to find out about that shortly, too. So, they find all of this, and immediately it's, well, we have to, figure out who the person on this tape is. In the tape, there is a woman who's tied down to the torture chair is what we're going to call it, tied to the chair. And she's very clearly drugged. She's very clearly out of it. And David Parker Ray is, caressing her. He wasn't doing anything malicious in it, but he's, caressing her slowly. No one knew who the woman was. This is where shit gets dark.
It wasn't already dark?
Well, it gets darker.
Okay.
So she had a tattoo on her leg. Very unique. Very weird tattoo. The FBI was brought in and said, "We've never seen a tattoo like that. I don't know what we're supposed to do about this." They released the tape to the public.
Why?
To see if they could identify who the woman was. God, this shit gets dark. Enter Kelly Van Cleve, who came to the FBI and said, "Hi, I saw this videotape." Or, the portion of it, "That's my tattoo." And they said, "Ma'am, do you know who David Parker Ray is?" And she goes, "Yeah, I've known him for years."
Oh.
"Do you speak to him?" "No." "Okay, we need to show you this full video." So she sees the video and she is in horror because she doesn't have much recollection of this. She went on to describe that she'd spent a weekend with David Parker Ray's daughter.
Oh.
Yeah.
daughter.
Jessie Ray, to be exact. Jessie Ray was supposed to give her a ride home one night. She said she remembers getting to Jessie's house and nothing else. And then waking up at her place. And she didn't realize it had been 3 days later. She also said that after the night that Jessie was supposed to take her home, she said that she had reoccurring nightmares about being tied down and being gagged. And she had what she described as an irrational fear of duct tape, where if someone just had duct tape, she physically couldn't look at it. So she starts having kind of a relapse. It starts triggering memories, and she starts remembering what was happening. That's how she remembered that she was taken home by his daughter. That his daughter actually is the one who got her inside into the toy box. His daughter was accompanying him to do this.
God.
So, when it comes down to, well, why didn't she remember? I mentioned earlier that in a little initiation tape, David Parker Ray had stated, I'm going to do what I want to you for 3 days, and you're not going to remember it. Well, here's why. David Parker Ray says in the tape that he did a mixture of sodium pentothal and phenobarbital. If you mix those together, it actually causes acute memory loss.
Okay.
It causes amnesia, and it causes the ability to essentially feel no pain. It's a temporary thing, but if you're on it, you don't remember anything or feel anything for several days.
Yeah, I know what phenobarb is, but I didn't know.
Yep, sodium pentothal, cannot say that word, mixed with the phenobarbital, essentially creates a amnesia drug. Easy as that.
Jesus.
So, Jesus Christ. So, he's now in custody, and it's kind of time to figure out what we're going to do with this guy. But then, Miss Kelly Van Cleve, who had the tattoo, starts talking about she thinks that he is responsible for somebody else's death. A girl named Marie. Marie apparently was 22, very good friends with Jessie Ray and Kelly Van Cleve, and got drunk one night. Two kids. She got drunk one night, and Marie took her home.
Oh.
With a friend. Insert Roy Yancey. Roy Yancey is a friend of David Parker Ray's, and when this is brought up by Kelly, Roy Yancey's dragged in for questioning because they believe he is an accessory to all of this. So, when asked, he says, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Jessie Ray took Marie to her father, David Parker Ray, where David Parker Ray tortured her and raped her for 3 days. Then David Parker Ray put a gun to my head and said, you're going to kill this girl. You're going to strangle her, or I'm going to shoot you. And he admitted, and he pled guilty to murder.
Wow.
Without a body. He said, I did it. You caught me. I want the guilt off of me. Followed up with, I can take you to her body. So, before we dig deeper into that, let's talk about David Parker Ray as a person for a second. He was a mechanic who worked for the local parks. There is a park out in New Mexico where he lived by that had a giant lake that's very deep. They found maps inside of his little torture den of the lake that had X's, and he had a sailboat. They combed the lake, no bodies. He had maps of parts of the parks that were inaccessible unless you worked for the parks department doing mechanical work for the outer towers out there. He had access. He had marks on maps of those. No bodies were ever found.
Oh my God.
Roy Yancey took them to where he believed that the body was dumped. And when the body wasn't there, they asked him, I thought you said the body was here. And his exact reply was, I guarantee to you, Parker Ray came back and moved her body after I put it here. Because he was with me the night I put it here. The cops there thoroughly believed that David Parker Ray was literally 9 steps ahead of them before anyone ever caught up to him. Aside from that, we need to talk a little bit about the initiation tape for a second to kind of give you a little more deep detail. Like I said, he told the women in the tape, "We're gonna keep you for 3 to 4 days. I'm gonna, do what I want with you." A lot of vile stuff was said that I'm not gonna say for obvious reasons, as well as one big thing he said in the tape. So it was what led cops to believe he was a prolific serial killer. An exact quote, and I have it written right here from the tape, is, "I've been doing this since I was 15 years old. And in the last several years, I've acquired at least 37 victims that I've raped and possibly killed. And that's just at the recording of this tape. By now, it's probably tripled."
Oh my god.
This is in his initiation tape to the women that he has in a torture shed.
That's messed up.
Yeah, digest that. Digest all that. I just threw a lot at you, and we're not even halfway there. We're not even halfway there.
You just played this for them.
Yeah. Just played it for him.
What sick man does that?
How deep are we in the video? Yeah, I can say it now. A sick fuck, Nick. Yeah, we're about 15 minutes in the video. I can say fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick fuck, Nick. That's what kind of guy. It's ironic. In the last two, and in future ones that we are going to be doing, I've always said that you find serial killers very intelligent and very, kind of, I guess a good way to put it is they're persuasive and they know how to make people, kind of fall for them. David Parker Ray is not like that. He's not a super intelligent guy. He's just he's a basic mechanic. Not saying mechanics are intelligent, but he is like a basic kind of middle of nowhere guy. You're very typical looking kind of like, I don't even know how to describe the guy. I mean, the picture's the thumbnail, guys. You can.
Yeah, he's got like that handlebar mustache and.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. So, back to it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There's more.
Oh, there's more. So yes, Roy Yancey pleads guilty, and he gets 22 years for secondary manslaughter. He's given 22 years in prison for the second degree murder of Marie. So now we move forward to the trials.
The trials.
Yeah, notice there's an S there.
Trials.
Yeah,
There's more than one.
Yeah, there wasn't a trial for Roy Yancey. There wasn't a trial. He pled guilty in, private court. No trial. There's obviously a trial, but, not, a publicized one.
Okay.
So David Parker Ray gets himself a lawyer, which I do have the name of this lawyer, actually. And this guy's kind of scummy. Kind of a scumbag. I mean, God, I don't even... Do you think I should just say the lawyer's name? I mean, I don't really give a shit.
It's probably publicly known anyway.
I mean, it's supposed to be publicly known.
Yeah, do it.
Technically, it's publicly known. Lee McKillen is his lawyer. So, June 29th, 2000, trial starts. Couldn't charge him with murder because...
Wait, what?
They can't charge him with murder. They cannot physically charge David Parker Ray with murder. There are no bodies and no evidence in the first case, or in the second case, really, proving that he murdered anybody. You can say, I murdered this person. That's not proof.
Really?
That does not hold up. If you admit to it and you'd be like, I can take you to this, this, and this, like what Roy Yancey did, that's proof.
Okay.
There's no proof that David Parker has ever murdered a single person. Even though the police in this town, as well as you'll learn, a very interesting person as well, all believe that he did this. That very interesting person will be talked about shortly as well. So trial starts, like I said, June 29th, 2000. Like I said, can't charge him with murder. So he's on trial for kidnapping and torture.
Okay.
But here's their problems. Number one. Victim number one, Cynthia Raheel, is not a credible witness. She is a prostitute and a heroin addict. They are terrified to put her on the stand because they think the jury will not believe her. Problem 2 with all of this is Kelly Van Cleve is someone who didn't even know this happened. And it's been years since this incident.
Oh, no.
And she barely has any memory of it. And they want her to stand trial, and she did it. They did not show the initiation tapes or recordings. They did not show the video, or not the whole video, at least, of Kelly Van Cleve. They only showed a small part of it. Lee McKillen, Ray Parker's lawyer, fought the video and said, "This looks completely consensual to me. Is she Is she having sex in the video? Is she being tortured? Is she being raped? Is she being mistreated? Doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary aside two consenting adults." Trial lasted 2 weeks.
God.
So, 2 weeks. Trial lasts. It's not normally good when you hear the jury only took 1 day to come to a verdict. They had a hung jury. They needed a unanimous decision. They needed 5 out of 5. They got 2 versus 3. 3 people thought he was innocent.
What?
3 people.
What?
Yeah. Drop that in your fucking noggin for a second.
How?
Right? It's crazy, I know.
What?
I know. So, get ready. 9 months later, they start the second trial of David Parker Ray. They decide it was a hung jury, so we're going to try it again. 9 months later with a new jury and a new judge.
Okay.
The judge decides, no. That initiation video is evidence. And the fact that the last judge said not to play that is wrong. Play it. That will be played in my court. So,
okay. Do you know, so in between that 9 months, did they hold him, or was he a free man?
they held him.
They held him? Okay.
So, Kelly has to redo her whole testimony.
That poor woman.
Yeah, she actually later on said about it that she had a hard time doing it because it was a publicized case. I mean, thousands of people heard about this case. She said the first time around, she said if Lee McKillen, his defense lawyer, was not attacking me, I could face David Parker Ray. She was like, but having to face him a second time, there was no way I could do it. And then when she heard they will be playing the initiation tape, she was like, I can do it. Because I know we'll get a guilty verdict this time. So, God, this is so brutal. Trial lasts 1 week only. Instead of 2 weeks this time.
Please tell me it was unanimous.
Want to know how fast it was unanimous? 5 hours. It was unanimous guilty verdict in 5 hours. The fact that it took you 5, it would take me 5.
Yeah.
It would take me 5
I'm
seconds.
kind of disappointed it took 5 hours
Little
instead
bit.
of like 2 seconds.
I wouldn't have given a shit about how much other evidence they had. I would have been like,
Guilty.
y'all heard this, right? Yeah, y'all heard this, right?
We all have ears, right?
Yeah, we're not stupid, right?
Yeah.
So, guilty verdict. He is sentenced to 224 years in prison.
Woo! Yes.
For the abduction, rape, and kidnapping of... they were able to lump in Marie's case.
Okay.
They couldn't time to the disappearance, though. But for Kelly Van Cleve, Cynthia Raheel, unanimous, obviously. So, now we jump forward in time a little bit.
Wait, there's more?
I mean, not really much more. About a year after that.
Did more stuff come up?
No. A appeal was made, though. Not for David Parker Ray. A part of his guilty sentencing, he got a deal. Which is stupid.
What?
Yeah. That his daughter could go free. And no charges could be brought against her. And they granted that.
They granted that.
So his daughter...
They granted accomplice? What?
Yeah, his daughter's just out and about walking around. Yeah. She's alive somewhere, walking around. David Parker Ray, after everything they went through and all the horrendous shit, there was lists of women who had come through there with X's on the name and others that had check marks as in who lived, who died. I mean, the amount of evidence they had was so insane. The police there estimated he probably killed about 65 women.
Jesus.
This is where shit gets... Remember when I said very interesting person comes forward and says, like, oh no, I think he did it. His lawyer.
His own lawyer.
After everything, in a interview, his lawyer, Lee McKillen, was asked, so, what do you think about all this? And his exact quote was, you're asking me if I think Kelly was kidnapped, raped, and tortured by the Ray family? Oh yeah, without question, I 100% believe that. And then, because he's technically still this guy's lawyer. You are someone's lawyer forever. You represented them, and then he was also asked, so, sir, are you saying that your client is guilty? And he goes, it does kind of seem like I'm saying that, doesn't it? But look, here's how I feel about it. When you become a lawyer, you know for a fact that you are going to deal with some real ugly people. This is all an exact quote, by the way. I believe there are truly evil people who do not belong in our society or on this earth. And David Parker Ray is one of those human beings.
Wow. Then why'd you represent him?
Public defense, man. And like I said, he was sentenced to 224 years in prison. He went to jail. Technically he went to jail in March 22nd in 1999 because that was when he was caught and he was never out of jail then. And he died in prison in 2002. He was only in jail for about 2.5 years until he died of a heart attack. And so ends David Parker Ray, the toy box killer.
That is the most disturbing one yet.
A lot to digest there, man. A lot to digest with David Parker Ray, dude. You see how long these notes are?
Yeah, Zach literally has like a stack of notes.
I had
handwritten, and then he has more notes on his phone.
I had to condense this. And I mean, I went over everything I could in the small snippets that I could. This is a lot. Yeah, dude, David Parker Ray. Fucking rotten hell, you piece of shit scumbag. It's easy as that.
Yeah.
Rotten hell.
Rotten hell.
Rotten hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, so there you go. There it is, the toy box killer. I had to sift through a lot of darkness today on the internet. I need this drink. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
So what do you think, man? What do you think about that
one? That was disturbing.
What kind of questions you got for me, man? You have time. You have a lot of time, actually. Ask away.
One, I just want to say that I'm glad he's dead.
Oh yeah. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
There's so many questions. Like, well, I really can't, say how glad I am he's dead.
Yeah, I really can't say it enough.
And then I can't believe he had 2 trials instead of 1 because that one guy, the one judge, wouldn't play the one, most incriminating evidence. Yeah. So why would you not play the most incriminating evidence the first time? You would have had him, yeah, he was, I guess you said he was detained, for 9 months, but still, you should have had the chair, man. You honestly should have had the chair.
Yeah, 224 years is too good for David Parker Ray, I think.
Yeah.
As well as just the fact that, like I said, man, they found so much information. There was a girlfriend that was living with them at the time that's somewhat a part of this that I didn't really talk about because she's not really a major thing. They don't talk about her much when it comes to police reports and stuff. She's not really talked too much about in police reports or anything like that. It's very minuscule. David Parker Ray claimed on the initiation tape that his girlfriend took part in the raping. I don't know the amount of credibility there is to that, though.
Okay.
I really don't. Like I said, I mean, I sifted through a lot of darkness today, and I just didn't find enough that I felt like would have been like almost even reasons to add anything about the girlfriend. Like I couldn't even find like her name. I found 3 different names.
What about his daughter? Is there a way you can elaborate more on the daughter? Because that confuses
Yeah.
the poop out of me. Like,
So
his own daughter was an accomplice.
it's weird, man. The part where she abducted Marie that's the one that's like, wow, because apparently Kelly McCleve Van Cleve, she talked about how Marie and Jesse Ray were like friends. They all hung out. They all had the same like hangout every weekend. They had a very specific bar they all went to every single weekend. And she was baffled that someone with so much love in their life, because originally they thought that she just disappeared. And they were amazed that she just vanished. They were like, she just left her kids. And then to find out and make that realization that Marie went home with Jesse Ray and she was taken to the father, and Roy Yancey was there and was like, yup, it happened. I mean, it's messed up. The daughter was even roped into it and was fine with it. I mean, she wasn't. They tried to ask that girl a million questions. I mean, you can see so many videos of all this stuff.
Okay.
She did not give a shit. I mean, she just ignored every question. When it came down to like people videotaping her, being like, "What? Why would you do this?" Blah blah. She just nothing to say.
Wow.
Compared to David Parker Ray, who just claimed innocence the whole time, like, "Oh, I know nothing about it. I don't know what you're talking about."
Then he comes back. It's like, yep.
Yeah, you're fucked. That's what it comes back to, bud. You're fucked. Yep. David Parker Ray. What else you got? Any more questions, or are you good?
I guess the daughter thing is what blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because how could you be okay with that? The fact that the toy box killer had like that mental judgment, like when he was like, no, the body should be here, and they go back and not find it. Like it's like he even doubted. It's like he's
the other person. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I'm gonna say once more, I'm glad he's dead.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't said it in the other podcast, but same thing goes with any serial killer.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, like, trust me, I'm stoked Ted Bundy's dead. I really wish I had one of those Burn Bundy Burn shirts. I know where to buy them. I will buy one.
Yeah.
I do not give a shit. I'm waiting for the day BTK kicks the bucket. I'll throw a damn party, because that guy sucks.
Yeah.
I
thought BTK was bad.
Yeah, just when you thought.
This dude was worse.
Just when you think there's no way it gets worse, why rip out David Parker Ray?
Well, I mean, I wonder where the series goes from here, because it's already pretty twisted right now.
It. This is and this will be our last true crime.
No.
Yeah, it does. It's when it comes down to like disturbing cases, this is about as disturbing that I know, but no, that's a lie. I know worse.
Oh no.
I know statistically worse, but they don't make me sick to my core.
Okay.
The way that this one did. I mean, this is just. I think what made this so like ugh for me learning about it. Like I've known about it for a while, but really in depthly doing all the research I did today, it really just re-solidified how gross I found this one and how disturbing it was. And it wasn't just the fact of like his acts. I mean, there's a million reasons, but I think what makes it more disturbing for me at least in this is hearing Kelly Van Cleve talk about how her life was great until that night, and then everything changed. She never knew why. And then once she made the realization of everything, wishing that she like was dead at a point. I mean, it really it tugs at your heart because I mean it's genuinely, and it's like this with every serial killer when you have a victim who escapes and lives, but this one really, I mean, she was drugged and forcibly like given amnesia to an extent to this point of like, I mean, her life was virtually taken away from her and there's nothing she could do about it. There was an interview with her that I watched where she talks about how she like just genuinely wishes that she could go back to who she used to be, like fun and like crazy and just having a good time. And she said like it's impossible. Like she's like, because I'll never be able to go out now without thinking that at any moment Jesse Ray could show up or David Parker Ray could take me again. It's sad. I mean, it's it's disturbing.
It's very disturbing. Yeah,
it's hard to listen to to that kind of stuff, man. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, I spent a long time doing all the criminal justice stuff, and I never learned about David Parker Ray. And I'll tell you what, I wish I had, because it would have better prepared me for all of the crap I had to read today, to say the least.
Wow.
You guys know what I'm doing for you guys on this podcast?
He's putting in the hours.
Putting in the deep hours of disgusting combing. I got to read. I actually read today actual like police reports, because it's all public record.
Yeah.
So I read actual police reports. I watched actual crime scene footage. I mean, Jesus Christ! I listened to the whole hour-long initiation tape he had. Yeah, dude, I went in.
Ugh.
I went in today.
Jeez.
Well, that's it, man. There it is. David Parker Ray, True Crimes, Part 3.
Woo.
Where do we go from here on True
Where do
Crimes?
we go from here?
Well, I think I know where we'll go next week. Don't worry. I think I know where we'll go next week. I think, or next time. I think next time we'll talk about Edmund Kemper. We'll talk about Edmund Kemper. It's a good one. It's a weird one, and he's alive.
Oh.
Edmund Kemper's a weird one. We'll get into that. But that's all the time we have today, guys.
Oh.
That's it. I know. It's a lot to handle.
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, that was the shortest 36 minutes of my life. God.
Jeez.
Well, guys, as always, this has been Carol's Opinion, and my name is not Zach.
And my name is not Nick.
And you know what that means? Don't you dare! Leave this video without liking it,
Commenting,
subscribing,
sharing,
caring,
clicking that bell icon so you get notified when we post a new video.
following us on Instagram, which you can do right now. What you're going to do if you're on your computer, you're going to go to our actual banner on the top of our YouTube page, and there's a little Instagram icon. You click it, bada boom, bada bam, it takes you to Instagram. If you're on your laptop, I meant phone or tablet. That's what I meant. Not laptop, phone or tablet. Go to the bio information on our little YouTube page on your YouTube app, and you click our bio. It says, follow us on Instagram, and you click it, and it takes you to our Instagram.
What?
I know. Wanna know why, Nick?
Why?
Technology.
Technology.
And I know what you're thinking. You're going to say, we'll see you guys next time. Nope, I got to plug one more quick thing. Get us to 50 followers so we can give you guys really embarrassing stories. I've said it in all the other ones. I'm sick of doing that spiel. And we will see you guys next time.
Podcast.